Welcome back, Night Dwellers. I'm your host, Mothy, and this is Simple Dark Stories. Last we left off, the rooftop bar was buzzing with laughter, drinks, and a meteor shower. Then one fell too fast, too bright. The power failed, phones died, and from the darkness, something came gliding towards them. Now trapped inside, the survivors must face the truth. This wasn't just a meteor.
Tune in close, dim the light, simple dark tales late at night.
The aliens eventually left the rooftop, their faint hum receding as they glided toward neighboring buildings. Cautiously, the group crept back to the open air, their footsteps crunching on broken glass and debris. The sharp odor of ozone lingered, mixed with the faint, harsh burn of whatever the creatures had left behind. Maddie's eyes lit up as she spotted the alien tablet. The device glowed faintly, its surface slick and cool to the touch. She hesitated, then swiped at the screen, revealing holographic images that floated in the air. Intricate diagrams of human skeletons, plant cells, and animal organs rotated slowly, casting ghostly reflections on the rooftop. Ty leaned in, his expression dark. This isn't alien tech. This is military-grade equipment. DARPA or Black Ops, no question. Maddie turned incredulous. You're looking at a 3D hologram of my skeleton, and you still think this is government tech? Ty folded his arms, unyielding. That's exactly what they'd want you to think. Slap some glowing lights on it and make it look otherworldly, and boom, instant cover story. Ellie sighed, scanning the rooftop for movement. If it's military tech, why catalog people, plants, and animals? What's the point? Ty gestured wildly at the tablet. It's a front. They're taking us out because we're witnesses. This is how they track everything before cleaning house. Maddie shook her head, her voice trembling with suppressed rage. You're unbelievable. It quacks like a duck. Ty, it's alien tech. Ellie raises a hand, silencing them both. Enough, Maddie. Can you find anything useful? Maddie hesitated, swiping through the holograms. She stopped on what looked like a glowing map, dotted with markers across the city. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I think this shows where they're harvesting. Ellie's stomach churned. Harvesting what? People? Resources? Maddie's voice faltered. Everything. A low hum rose in the distance, deeper and more resonant, vibrating through the rooftop like a growl of some ancient predator. The bioluminescent glow of the aliens grew brighter, casting jagged shadows that danced and twisted across the walls like taunting specters. Ellie barked out orders, her voice sharp. They're coming. Take the tablet, but don't die for it. Move. The group bolted for the stairwell, the gravel beneath their feet grinding against the concrete with every frantic step. The vibrations intensified, rattling through their bones as the aliens closed in. Over the rooftop's edge, their silhouettes emerged, gliding shadows of angular forms with glowing tails that pulsed in rhythmic menace. One alien lunged forward, its speed defying logic, its tail flickering with predatory intensity. Ellie spotted Joshua nearby, his tall frame bracing against the stairway railing. He was closer to Mike than anyone. Joshua, she shouted, her voice strained and urgent. We need your help. Block it, slow it down, anything. Her words carried an edge of desperation. If Joshua could even momentarily distract the alien, Mike might have a chance to escape its grip. They couldn't afford to lose anyone else. Joshua froze, his eyes wide with terror. His breathing was ragged, each exhale a shallow gasp. "I'm not dying for this," he said, his voice breaking. Without another word, he turned and bolted to the stairwell. "Coward!" Maddie screamed after him, but her words were swallowed by the alien's guttural screech, a sound so visceral it sent shivers racing down their spines. The creature's glowing claws lashed out, catching Mike's arm as they tried to dodge it. Mike cried out, their voice cracking with raw agony as the claws tore through the skin and muscle, leaving jagged, bleeding gashes. They stumbled, clutching their arm, but the alien did not relent. Its claws hooked into their shoulder, wrenching them backward with brutal force. "Help me," Mike said. Filled with panic and pain, they thrashed against the creature's grip. Blood spilled onto the gravel in the dark, glistening pools and coppery scent filling the air and mingling with the harsh burn of ozone. Ellie lunged forward, her hand outreached. "Mike, hold on!" The alien's claws dug deeper, ripping into Mike's flesh as it began dragging him toward the rooftop's edge. Mike's legs kicked violently, their shoes scraping against the gravel with a desperate, screeching sound. "Don't let it take me!" Mike's voice broke, their words choking on sobs and screams. Their free hand clawed at the ground, fingers splintering on jagged stones as they fought against the inevitable. The alien's bioluminescent tail flared brightly, bathing the rooftop in an eerie, shifting glow as it hoisted Mike into the air. Ellie lunged again, her fingers brushing against Mike's blood-slicked hands before slipping away. "No, I've got you. Just hold on." But Mike's grip faltered, and their body convulsed as the alien's claws pierced deeper into their side. Their scream turned raw, guttural, as if torn from the depths of their being. The creature's tail coiled around their legs, tightening like a serpent, cutting off their frantic kicks. The alien jerked backwards, dragging Mike to the rooftop's edge with horrifying ease. Ellie scrambled after them, her knees scraping against the gravel, but it was too late. The creature pulled Mike over the edge in one fluid motion, their final, anguished cry echoing into the void below. The hum faded, replaced by deafening silence that pressed down on the group like a suffocating weight. The sharp, metallic sting of blood lingered in the air, mingling with the sting of wind biting at their skin. Maddie collapsed to her knees, her shimmering top catching faint reflections of the shattered lights above. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "They're gone." Her voice cracked with disbelief and sorrow. "Mike's gone." Ellie stared at the edge of the roof, her chest heaving with ragged breaths. Her fists clenched so tightly, her nails bit into her palms. "Joshua did this," she said, her voice trembling with the rage and grief. "He killed Mike." Joshua's chest heaved, his breath coming in short, sharp gasps as he stumbled down the stairs. The dim lighting casted jagged shadows across the narrow space, each step echoing like a hammer striking stone. The faint metallic tang of blood, mixed with the scent of sweat, clung to his clothes. His blazer hung askew, one sleeve torn, His polished shoes skidded on shattered glass, littering the floor. He thought he could escape. The thought repeated in his mind like a mantra. He wasn't like the others. He wouldn't freeze or falter. They might not make it, but he would. He had to. Then the hum returned, low and resonant, vibrating through the very walls. Joshua froze mid-step, his pulse pounding in his ears. At the far end of the hallway, a figure emerged from the shadows, its bioluminescent tail pulsing like a dying star, casting rippling patterns on the cracked walls. The alien's elongated head tilted unnervingly, its black, glassy eyes reflecting the faint light like pools of oil. "No, no, no," Joshua whispered, stumbling backwards. His hand scrambled against the wall for support as the creature advanced silently, its movements smooth and deliberate. He turned to flee, but another alien blocked the stairwell, its sharp claws gleaming under the faint light. Joshua's breath hitched, his voice breaking into a desperate plea. "Wait, I didn't mean, I..." The alien lunged. Its claws struck with surgical precision, slicing through him effortlessly. Joshua's scream was brief, strangled by the wet thud of his body hitting the floor. The blood pooled beneath him, dark and viscous, reflecting the flickering glow of the aliens' tails as they loomed over their prey. Back on the rooftop, the group huddled near the stairwell door. The air was heavy with the scent of burnt wiring and spilled liqueur, mingled with the tang of fear. Maddie clutched the alien tablet to her chest, her hands trembling as tears streaked her flushed face. "They're gone," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Mike's gone, and Joshua?" She faltered, unable to finish. Ellie stood apart, staring at the horizon. Her jaw was tight, her fists clenched so hard her knuckles were white. "Joshua's gone because he only cared about himself," she said, her voice steady. "Mike did not deserve what happened to them, but Joshua, he deserved it." Ty sat slumped against the wall, his jackalope tracker dangling loosely from his fingers. For once, his mouth was silent. No theories or snarky remarks to fill the void. Ellie forced herself to stand, her movements stiff with exhaustion and grief. "We need to finish this," she said, her tone resolute. "If we don't, none of this will matter." Maddie wiped her face, her eyes red and glassy. "Let's end this." That concludes today's episode. Join us next week for another spine-tingling tale here on Simple Dark Stories. If you enjoyed this and would like to help out, please give us 5 stars and let us know what haunts your dreams. Until next time, bye-bye.